Yeah. So, for suppose you are
Okay.
new to the
The one who
project.
has
You are
experience.
new to the project. Okay. Sorry. The scenario is you are working in a testing project, and okay, your lead said you need to execute 500 test cases, but we have only 1 day time, and number of testers working in your project is only 2. Okay, you are the senior most in the project. Then he said, please carry ad hoc testing. What it means? Ad hoc testing means what?
Means we should have full knowledge about that process, whatever we are doing.
Okay, can you speak a little bit loud? Who's this?
The one who is having the knowledge.
Ah,
Without knowledge, we can't do. So the one who is experienced and the one who is having the full knowledge with the requirement and everything. So
okay.
that person, yes, that is ad hoc testing.
So, okay, let me explain. Ad hoc testing carry only in emergency times. Emergency means nothing actually, where we have very limited amount of time, and we need to execute many test cases. In such scenarios, test managers conduct ad hoc testing. Ad hoc testing is nothing but choosing the test cases, where the criticality of the functions can be tested at a high priority. That means, as an experienced tester, you can decide what are the test cases you can choose. You can choose on priority basis to cover the maximum number of bugs may occur in your projects. May occur. You are not sure. Bugs may come or may not come. Okay. So as an experienced tester, you have to choose a set of test cases to carry ad hoc testing. Okay. That is all about ad hoc testing. Ad hoc testing can be conducted only if you don't have very ample amount of time to conduct your testing activity. Then monkey testing. To conduct monkey testing. Now the scenario is different. You are completely new to the project. Your manager said, please explore the project and application. So how do you explore as a tester? You can't simply go and open the application and go page by page. You will take certain number of test cases and you execute randomly. That is all about monkey testing. Why you are executing? To know the functionality of the application. Okay, you just execute few test cases randomly. That is called monkey testing. Ad hoc testing conducted only in scenarios where we have a limited amount of time. Monkey testing is conducted where we have a resources does not have much knowledge about the application. That is all about ad hoc testing and monkey testing. Then retesting, whenever you conduct the testing in our last cycle, last build, you found some n number of bugs, and developer fix the bugs, and they hand out the build, patches in the next build. Next build, what you have to do? You have to do retesting. Retesting is nothing but conducting the same testing again to uncover any bugs arised because of fixing the functionality. That is called actually retesting. Regression basically is a process of identifying various features in the build where the chance of getting side effects are very high. Okay, regression retesting almost the same, but slight difference is there. Okay, we are repeating the entire testing phase is called actually retesting. Regression means we just check only few set of test cases before executing the functional test cases in each and every build. That is called a regression testing. Regression testing carried for each and every build. Okay, sanity testing, smoke testing. What is sanity testing? So whenever you receive a build from the development team, we conduct a sanity testing. Okay, to check the stability of the build. Smoke testing is basically a basic functional testing conducted by the developer or tester before releasing the build itself. Before releasing the build itself, they carry certain test cases. That is called actually smoke testing. Okay, smoke testing and sanity testing. End-to-end testing, we can see these technologies only in a very complex applications where there are so many technical stacks available. So many components are involved. So these components are integrated with each other. So to conduct end-to-end testing, what you have actually, you should have a strong knowledge on each and every component in your application. That is called actually end-to-end testing. Exploratory testing. What is exploratory testing? Monkey testing and exploratory testing almost same. Okay. Exploratory testing is conducted by the freshers. Those who want to know the functionality of the application, they simply execute certain set of test cases are called actually exploratory testing. Yeah, please mute yourself. Just a second, I will take this call. Yeah. So, what is the difference between monkey testing and exploratory testing? Monkey testing is conducted by the freshers. Okay, monkey testing is conducted by the freshers, whereas exploratory testing is conducted by the actual testers only. In exploratory testing, they simply remove or add or modify new existing test cases and check whether the test cases has covered all the functionalities of the application or not. That is all about exploratory testing. End-to-end testing and exploratory testing. End-to-end testing, it tests the overall functionality of the system, including the data. Okay. Exploratory testing is simply adding or modifying the test cases. They simply check whether the test case has been covered the entire application or not. That is called actually exploratory testing. Then globalization testing and localization testing. What it means? Globalization testing is nothing but to check whether the application has a provision of setting and changing the language and date and time formats. Correct, right? See, if you are using a WhatsApp, okay, in India, we have a different format of date and time than United States of America or United Kingdom. Different countries follow different time and date conventions, and their language is also different. Hence, your application needs to be tested thoroughly with a with a globalization settings. Okay, where the application has a provisions of setting and changing the language, date and time format and currency formats also is called as a globalization testing. What is localization testing? Localization testing is nothing but each country have their own exchange rates. For example, if you are working in India, what is the exchange rate to US dollar? 75 rupees, right? $1 equal to 75 rupees. Whether your application is supporting those exchange rates or not, and your application is designed as per the particular locality of the users or not. That is all about localization testing. Okay, localization testing and globalization testing. Globalization testing checks the aspects of the setting and changing language, date, time, format, and currency formats of the application. Localization, where the application is developed as per the local currency, date, and time format and is designed for the particular locality or not. It is all about a localization testing. Then coming to positive and negative testing, as we know, positive and negative testing conducted on the application in a positive approach is called actually positive testing. We check, okay, we basically positive testing helps in checking if the customer requirements are okay, justified or not by positive test data. Positive testing is nothing but checking the positive flows of the application by giving a positive test data. Negative testing is nothing but testing the application with a negative perception and give a negative data to in order to check the negative flows of the application is called actually negative testing. So these topics we already covered. What is STLC and all, requirement analysis, test plan, and so on. Yeah. Another thing, as a tester, we actually create use cases and test scenarios and test cases. This we have already discussed. Use cases nothing but a requirement document. Use case describes the requirements. After analyzing the use cases, we derive test scenarios. Test scenarios basically deals with what to test. Okay, so each test scenario again are multiple test cases. Each test case deals with how to test. Test case contains the test steps, expect results, and actual results. Okay. So here you can see what is the difference between test case and test scenario. Tested scenario deals with what to be tested. Test case deals with the how to test. How means we just describe how we are going to perform the test cases by following the steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. What is the expected result? What is the actual result, and so on. Okay. And then these are the examples of test cases. Okay, sorry, test scenarios. You can see test scenario is checking the functionality of login button. I want to check the functionality of the login button. Here, this statement indicates what to be tested. What you are going to test it? Login functionality, login button you are going to test it. To test login functionality, how many test cases we have written? Test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, and test case 4. Test case 1 deals with check the functionality of login without entering username and password. Next, by entering only username. By entering wrong username and wrong password. By entering correct username and correct password. There are 4 different test cases we have written to check the login functionality. Okay, are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Anjali, Fatima, Vikas, Yaswini. So basically, these are the various test cases we can write. And coming to positive and negative, we have already seen these are the set of positive test cases. These are the negative test cases to cover a login functionality. Example, there is a username. Username accepts only 6 to 20 characters. 6 to 20 characters only it will allow. What are the positive test cases? First we'll give 6, and then we try to give up to 20 characters. And then again we'll give in between 6 to 20, and then try to give alphabets. These are positive test scenario because username accepts only positive test, alphabets. Coming to negative test scenario, we try to give less than 6, greater than 20, special characters, numerical values, and so on. These are negative test cases. These are positive test cases. Good. Please tell me, are you clear now with all the concepts? Quick. Everybody, theory is enough now. Okay, we'll get into practice today. Yeah, we have discussed many topics in and out completely. Okay, these topics we have discussed: decision table, state transition, use cases, and so on. Okay, I'll see how do you write test cases? How do you write test cases? Okay, how do you write test cases? See, entire test project is divided into different test suites. Test suite is nothing but a set of test cases. See here, test plan. Inside test plan, we have a test suite 1, test suite 2, test suite 3. Test suite 1 contains test case 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Test 2 contains test case 1 and test case 2. Test case 3 contains 1, 2, 3. So basically, entire project is divided into test suites. Based on the testing type, we actually execute this test suites. Okay. So for example, you want to carry regression testing. We have a separate test suite for a regression test suite. We call regression test suites. Okay. Whenever you will get a new build for QA environment, in a QA environment, you simply execute those set of test cases under a regression test suite. That's all. Yeah. So how the test case looks like? How the test case looks like? These are the test case headers. You can see test case ID, test case title, description, precondition, priority 0, 1, 2, 3, requirement ID, steps, actions, expected results, actual results, test data, and a status. That means to write a test case, each test case need to follow these many headers. To write a test case, we need to fill all the headers of the test case. How many headers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 headers. Okay. So how the test case looks like? This is how actually test case looks like. Okay. Test case. You can see the test case template. So this is how actually test case template looks like. Okay. So what is the module name? UI bank is a module name. Requirement ID, login functionality of the UI bank, and test case type, functional testing, and priority, don't fill priority now, and test case ID, test case underscore login underscore 001. What is a test scenario? Verify login functionality. It indicates what to test. Okay. So it indicates what to test. Okay. And then coming to the condition, basically precondition is nothing but before going to test, we have preconditions, right? That we need to fill under a precondition column. Okay, what is the precondition? User should open the Chrome browser and enter UI bank URL. Okay, and check whether the login page is displayed or not. Then coming to the test steps. This section basically deals with how we are going to test it. How do you test it? Okay. Okay. How to test. How to test and what to test. How to test. Okay, look at here. This is how to test. Now we have actual results. That means actually what you are expecting. Sorry. Actually, what you are able to see in the application. Okay, we don't fill all these details currently. We don't fill. Frankly speaking, this field is empty. And expected results. How do you fill expected results? Expected, we know what we are expecting. See here, enter username. System should accept username. System should accept password. That means whenever you enter username, your edit field should accept a username, should accept a password. Okay. So while writing the test cases, we have to fill these columns, except actual result and status also. Status also you need to fill only after execution of test cases. Okay. So test cases are ready. We simply send the test cases for review. Rework is done. Then your test manager has approved your test case. Then you have to execute. At that time, you have to fill a execution part. Okay, you have to open the application. This is how actually we have to open the application. Okay, how to open uibank.uipod.com. Okay, I entered. Okay, actual result. What is the actual result? Okay, so I just open and then entering some results. Okay, then it is saying yes, it is accepting. Then I have to fill as expected. As expected. Okay, then status is pass. Okay, and similarly enter password. Same details are same and pass. And then click login. Application should display a welcome page with the account summary page. Okay, just pass, because after entering the username and password, it will accept. Okay, CtrlAi soft. Yeah. Okay. Then entering user, see welcome page, account summary page has been displayed. I can simply say pass. So as expected, Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay. So for example, you are entering a wrong username. This is a test data, very important. You are entering a wrong username. Okay, and then just try to check whether the application is working or not. Okay, just log out. Just give only Control C, CtrlAi soft one this time. Okay, and password. Click login. We are not able to see login failed. Then I can say this condition is failed. Then I can say failed. Okay, not as expected. Not as expected. Okay, login failed. Login. Then I can say test cases failed. That's all. This is how actually we execute the test case. So after writing the test case, with this how actually we have to execute. So this is the test case template. We simply follow this test case template. How do you write the test cases? Okay, as a developer or tester, we have to follow these rules while writing the test case. Test case should be accurate and a test that is intended to be tested. No unnecessary steps. It should be reusable. It should be traceable, and should be compliant to regulations. It should be independent. It should be simple and clear. Okay, any tester should be able to understand it by reading once. So you have to write the test cases accurate. There is no unnecessary steps. It should be reusable. It should be traceable to requirements. It should be compliant to regulations. Okay, and should be independent. That means without taking any help from other testers, you should be in a position to execute it. And your test case should be simple and clear. Are you guys following? Am I going fast?
So it should follow the traceable to the requirement is there, no?
Yeah, I will explain when you are discussing about metrics. Okay.
Oh.
Now you see only test cases. Are you guys following? Everybody, quick.
Yes, sir.
Fatima, Anjali, Vikas, Yashaswini.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how actually we create test cases. What is test data? Whatever you are filling under test data column in your test case is called test data. This is a test data. Who provides? Purely depending on the project. Sometimes client will provide, sometimes you have to prepare your own test data. That is called dummy data. Test data provided by the client is called actually live data. Live data means okay, certain set of test cases we can't use in an ad hoc manner. That means the dummy test case does not work. You have to get the test data from the client. That is called actually test data provided by the from the client. Okay. Test data will be provided as an input to the test cases prepared by test engineers maintained in Excel sheets. Okay. Then coming to test environment setup. How do you set up a test environment? See, as a tester, you never involve. You never involve. Only configuration team in your project or what you call test environment team in your company provide a test environment for you to carry testing activities. Okay. To set up a test environment as a tester, you don't have much role to play. Only configuration team will take care. Okay. So test environment is nothing but an environment to conduct a testing activities. And then test execution, as I said, first you prepare a test case. After that, have a test environment set up. After having the test environment, we just execute our test case. Yes. In this phase, we carry testing execution. We simply open the application and execute these test steps one after another. And if there are any bugs found, then we report these bugs to the development team for correction. Are you guys clear? Everybody. Quick. Yes, no, yes. Yeah. So that means it is a bug. See here, we just said it is a fail, right? It's not as expected. So we simply mark it in green, red color. Okay. So this is failed because it's not as expected. What we do? Immediately we raise a bug. We report this bug to development team for correction, and retesting will be performed. Okay. How do you report a bug? Bug. That is called actually defect reporting. How do you report a defect actually? To report a defect also, okay, we have to follow certain kind of procedure. So these are the steps involved to report a bug. Any mismatch in functionality you found, then it is called actually defect, bug, or issue. So every test engineer have to report a bug. So what are the tools we use to report a bug? Jira, DevTrack, ClearQuest, Quality Center, Bugzilla, and all. There are various tools available. Okay. So what are the contents available in a defect reporting? So these are the various headers under a defect reporting. Defect ID, defect description, version, steps, date raised, references, detected by, status, fixed by, date close, severity, and priority. Okay. Defect ID is for to uniquely identify the defect. Description, the name itself is telling we discuss the defect. Version means in this build we have raised a defect. Next build also they could not fix it. Then we will change the version 1.2 to 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And steps. See, test case has a steps, right? Similarly, test defect also have a steps to follow. Okay, where we attach the screenshots for a developer reference. Okay, so date raised, references. If we have any requirement document, a design document, design document to refer, then we attach those screenshots. Detected by, your name should come as a tester. Status, is it opened, closed, or okay? The status I will explain later. The status you need to fill it. Fixed by, developer name will come here. Date closed, on which date you close the defect. Severity, what's the impact of the defect on the application? Okay, how much impact the defect has created on the application? That is all about severity. Priority means how urgency, how quickly you need to fix the defect. That indicates a priority. Okay. High means you have to fix it immediately. Medium means you have some time. Low means you have ample amount of time to fix it. Okay. So severity indicates impact of the defect. Priority indicates the urgency of the defect that needs to be fixed. Then coming to cycle, defect management life cycle. First we discover the defect, we categorize the defect, and we provide the resolution, and we go for a verification, and finally we close the defect and we report the defect. Okay. So classification of defect. How many classifications are there? Severity and priority. Priority P1, P2, P3. P1 means high, low, medium. High, low, medium. Priority. Severity means critical, very critical. That means you have to fix it immediately. Why? It has a huge impact on the application. High also very high, medium, low. Okay. Coming to defect severity, you can see they have given few examples. Severity describes seriousness of the defect. Critical means the complete shutdown of the process. That means we are not able to continue with the testing because of the defect. That is called critical. Okay. So in the entire system, one subsystem has collapsed. Hence, some functionality, certain functionality of the application we can't test it. That is called high. Medium means it is working fine, but one or two pages are not working. Then it is called actually medium. Okay, so there is some undesirable behavior we observe in the application. That is called medium. Low means it does not stop your testing. We can still able to continue, but there is a major breakdown in the system. There is a small issue with the functionality. Then it is called actually low. Critical, completely shut down the process. We can't continue. High, we can continue, but a major functionality is not working. Critical functionality is not working. Medium, still we are able to continue, but certain functionality is not working. Low, functionality is working properly fine, but defects are very high and actually low. So they give priority also. Priority means categorization to high, medium, and low. High means we have to resolve it ASAP, as soon as possible. P2 means we can fix a defect in the next cycle or next build. P3 means, okay, we have a defect, but it is actually not a major defect. Okay, we can fix this one in a subsequent builds. That is called actually P3 low. This is actually severity and priority categorization. We can ignore it for time being. Okay, so very low severity and high priority. Where you can see. Can you tell me a few examples for low priority and high severity? Otherwise, low severity and high priority. Quick. So you just open SBI Bank. SBI is a very popular bank in India, as we know already. State Bank of India, SBI. Right. This is a banking application. It is a very famous bank in India. For suppose the logo of the bank portal, the logo of the bank in the portal is missing. Okay. So this is a URL. Just assume what happened here. Okay. So this logo is missing, completely missing. Somehow developer could not add. The logo is missing. Now tell me what kind of defect it is. What kind of defect it is? Quickly.
First
means how severe the defect is?
Low severity and high priority.
Super. Low severity and a high priority. Why high priority?
Because
the goodwill of the company is at stake. Yes, goodwill of the company. Goodwill means what actually? See, you just miss the logo, that does not show any impact on the application functionality. You can still able to transfer funds and receive funds, and all major functionality of the applications are working normally. Okay, but logo is missing, that indicate that a customer lose the trust. Okay, so its priority is very high, severity is very low. So these are actually cosmetic errors. All cosmetic errors comes under a low priority and low severity and a high priority. Then give me one more example for high severity with low priority. Okay, I will tell you one example. See, fund transfer is a very critical functionality of the banking application. Okay, we are not able to send the money from one account to another account. Okay, but the remaining all functionalities are working. Then what you can do? What you can do? There is no urgency because the major functionality we can't fix it in a quick manner. Logo and all we can fix it immediately. Okay, but at the same time, okay, severity is very high. That means it has created a major impact. Okay, then what you can do? The developer simply say we'll fix it next build. Then next build they will fix it. Okay, see here it can be scheduled to the release in the next cycle or next build. Okay, that is all about high severity and low priority. Again, few more examples here. Can ignore it. Yeah. How do you? Okay, you raise a defect. What next? What next? Your development team may accept, may reject. They simply say duplicate. They simply say enhancement, and they can also request for more information. They can simply say not able to reproduce, and they can accept and fix it, and they can simply say this is as per the design documents. So these are the various resolution types for the defects. Development team may accept, may reject, may simply say duplicate. That means somebody had already raised it. Please close the defect. And enhancement, they simply say it's not in the current release. It may go address in the next build. That is called actually enhancements. Need more information. The development team try to replicate the steps, but they could not find the defects. They ask for more information. Not reproducible, they can simply say the defect is not reproducible. We are not able to reproduce it. Okay. And then finally, development team accepted and then can fix it. Then they will give the status called fixed. They can also say, sir, it's not a defect. That is developed as per the requirement. So it is status is as designed. Okay, these are the various resolution types. Okay. Then coming to defect triage, you can see there are 3 levels of defects. One is the first we review the defect. That means you raise a defect, the review goes for review. Manager will review the defect, then assessment. Then they will do the assessment whether it is really a defect or not. And then finally assign the defect to the development. This is all about the defect triage. Defect review, and then assessment, and then finally assignment. Review, assessment, and assignment. Okay. So under review, we review all the defects, including rejected defects by the team, and the initial assessment. Defect is based on the content and respective priority and severity. We assess actually, and then we prioritize the defects based on the inputs. and assign the defects to the production manager. Production manager will assign the defect to the developer. Okay. So what are the guidelines you have to consider while giving a priority, severity and priority? Severity, first you have to understand the concept of priority and severity very well. Then only we can give proper, assign the proper severity and priority. Okay. So then coming to the, yeah, they're given some sample exercises. You can ignore it. Okay. So what are the best practices we follow basically to raise a defect or to prepare a defect report? Structure, we have to elaborate each and every step in your test report. Reproducible, that means your test case should be reproducible. Defect should be reproducible. Isolate, test it differently. Different variables and different test data you have to give and test it. Generalize, you should follow same naming conventions everywhere. Compare, we have to review results of the similar tests, okay, and with the different versions. But ideally we never follow all these tips and all, but we simply raise a defect once you find there is a variance in the functionality. Okay. And then bug life cycle, this is very, very important. This we'll discuss now. This is a bug life cycle. First we report a bug, then we check whether the bug is reproducible or not. If it is yes, we assign the priority to the bug, and then it will go for a manager, I mean development team. Development team, they accept it. Okay. Then they have to fix it immediately based on the priority and severity. Fix the defect, send the verification to the new build and validate the defect, and then check whether the defect is fixed or not. If it is fixed, then we can simply say close the defect. Else, again, we have to revoke. Okay, this is a bug life cycle, starting with the reported defects, and then we check whether it is reproducible or not. And if it is not reproducible, close the defect. If it is reproducible, assign the defect, priority and severity to defect, and assign the defect to the developer. Developer check the defect whether it is valid or not. If it is yes, they will fix the defect. We will try to fix the defect immediately, send the validation for on new build. Okay. In new build, we receive a new build and validate the defect. If it is valid, I mean it is fixed, then I will give fixed status, else it is not fixed. We receive the defect, it will go for again another cycle of testing, retest. Are you guys following? Are you guys following? Quick. Anjali, Fatima, Vikas, Shashaswini. So this is all about a bug life cycle. Every bug follows this life cycle. First we report, then we check it is reproducible or not. If it is reproducible, we assign the defect to the we assign priority and severity. After assigning priorities and severity, we send the defect to the development team. Development team check whether it is a valid defect or not. If it is a valid defect, they have to fix it. Okay. If they are not able to fix it, at least they will give schedule the defect for a future releases. Okay. So severity is very high. They have to fix it immediately. To fix a defect, send for a validation on a new build. Okay. And next build, we validate the defect. If it is fixed, we close the defect. If it is not fixed, we send the defect resolution rejected. We go for a next cycle of testing. So yes, Zira we will see tomorrow. Okay, how do you raise a defect in Zira? That I will show you tomorrow. Okay. Are you guys following? So shall we stop here for today? Tomorrow we'll discuss about how do you raise a defect in Zira.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Catch up tomorrow at the same time.